All right, Thursday the 20th. Update. Look at that. Put a new light up. All right. Cleared out just about all the trash. And all the flooring is gone. A lot of the patches done on walls. We have a few more. So here's one side of it. The other side we need to run the drain line. And notice, because these walls are thinner, there is no way to put sheetrock over this. So we are going to double layer this sheetrock here. We have plenty of space in the kitchen to do that. It's not going to affect anything. In fact, nobody's going to notice anything on that, which is fine. All right, electrical in here is done except for the lights. A lot of patchwork to do, or that has been done. Instead of scraping all of this off, well, we peeled off the wallpaper, we scraped the adhesive, we steamed it, and we were starting to grind it down, and it was just taking so long, so much labor. It was faster to spend 2 hours putting new sheetrock up, and instead of ripping everything all down and then having to repair it. So that's that. There's a lot of space in here when there's no furniture or trash. But no, most everything's wired that needs to be. New switch for the hallway. All right, here's the bathroom so far. Vanity's gone. We're gonna put a pedestal sink here, so the hot and cold water need to come together closer. So I'm just going to cut off the copper there and there and put in PEX. I'll put a board across and mount the valves so that they are really close to the drain, so they can all be hidden behind the pedestal. We're gonna cut this off and right about there and right about here, so that we can put the recessed medicine cabinet in. Use the light. Once we skin everything, we'll figure out where the center line is, which will be right over the drain, and we'll put that box for the light. All right, we took everything out. Our rough-in dimensions are 60 1/2 inches, which is perfect, because most everything calls for 60. All right, here we had to get crazy with the drain. We had to cut it off down below here. Here, this is the slab. This is the distance between the floors. Plus, there's an extra 9 to 12 inches of space underneath that slab in the ceiling of the bottom unit. We had to chip away the concrete right here so that the downstairs bath vent can still go up when we have our pan come up against there. It won't be all the way up against the wall, so that's going to be just fine. Of course, the old shower, all that's going to have to be ripped out. That's easy. All right, all the doors are off. Move the tools back here. There's our switches are in, ready for wiring the lights. From the closet, this is the guest bedroom. New boxes for the ceiling fans, which are attached to a cross beam up top, so that it is more sturdy. Okay. Master bedroom. Notice we had to rip out the sheetrock because we discovered a water leak, and we're drying it out. Water leak up by the ceiling, all the way up here. This is the cold water supply. This is the hot water coming from the hot water heater. We have a couple leaks here in the hot water line, and then a couple leaks in the cold water line. We even have some leaks down here, which means that we have to go downstairs to Dee Dee's apartment and open up her wall and replace all of this copper pipe from her condo up through ours. And while we're at it, probably just going to replace all this copper with conduit as well. The attic and all the other places, everywhere else, looks okay. You can see on this side, well, here's our old can. There's already PEX. You know, as soon as it comes in from the wall, in from the wall here, going, that's the drain. And then out to the hot water. All of that is PEX out here where it's in public space. But in the walls, they're more copper. And the association is responsible for everything in there, so we're going to figure out how they're going to cover it all. All right, so here's our update. Everything is doing well. You know, we took off the wallpaper and other facade that was on the walls. We just chiseled that off just as we did in the bathroom. But in the kitchen, here we go. Here's your sink wall. And here's your fridge and range wall. Everything is going well. It's going to look beautiful. Feels good. Enjoy it. We'll give you another update soon.